Fool, you have only made me more powerful.
Now witness my final form.
How's it going, everyone? My name is True Underdog, and it looks like Kotal Kahn has finally ascended. While he did get a couple of nerfs and some minor tweaks here and there, some of the buffs this guy got from Netherrealm are pretty crazy, so without any further ado, let's talk about it. So for starters, his down 1 is now better on hit, and this happened to pretty much everybody in the roster, and it's good news for Kotal Kahn because he has a really good tick throw that starts off high, and now he can jail into it a bit easier. However, one interesting change is now he can do this. He can jail into standing 4, and look at all of that pushback. If he makes you block this, he can cancel into his totem and he's minus 10, but look at all of this distance. Pretty much no character can punish him. Or at the very least, no character comes to mind at this moment. I don't think most characters can punish you at minus 10 when you're this far away. And then if the opponent does mash buttons, they get hit, and that's a guaranteed totem summon. So on block, it's really hard to stop this summon, and on hit, it's definitely impossible. He gets a summon either way. And then one more nice thing about this buff is he can jail into standing 3-4, which is neutral on block, but it's a pretty nice string, so now it's a lot easier to jail into it since down 1 is better on hit. Once again, if the opponent mashes or does anything of that nature, you get a guaranteed 3-4 to hit, and this move actually cancels into your totem and you're at +7, so not only can the opponent not punish you, but you're actually at frame advantage even though you just summoned the totem. And also a little fun fact, if you end the combo with this string and time it properly, it's an inescapable unblockable setup. Just then I told Devora to roll and she still couldn't escape. Her only option to escape there was an invincible up 3, but she needs 1 offensive bar and 1 defensive bar just to do that. And later on at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a bunch of different shenanigans that Kotal Kahn has with this unblockable. But next up we have some of the crazy stuff. So down 4 has got a major buff. It is now +20 on hit, and look at the cancel advantage, 40 frames. And as you're about to see right now, the startup on this move is 41 frames. So what that means is if you land it down 1 and cancel into the unblockable, it's guaranteed. The opponent can't jump, they can't attack, they certainly can't block, nothing. Once you land that down 4, the unblockable is 100% guaranteed. So already that makes Kotal Kahn very good in the poke battle. His down 4 is already pretty good, but now if he whiff punishes anything with that down 4, this unblockable is guaranteed. And then on top of that, if you do anything -11 or more and he can still reach you with this down 4, once again that means a guaranteed unblockable follow-up, so really good damage off a pretty far-reaching punish. And keep in mind you can combine this with his damage totem, so if I land this, that's 36 damage, then I cancel, boom, boom, I'm getting almost 19%, that's over 20% damage guaranteed if I land that down 4. And then if I do summon 2 totems, which let's be honest, that's not very tough to do, look at all of this unescapable damage, over 23%, almost 25%, 1/4 of your health almost gone from a down 4. And even though it's not very likely to get 3 totems on screen, just for fun, check out all of this. So that is over 30% damage for a down 4, either in the neutral or as a punish. That is all guaranteed and inescapable. If you ask me, that's all very, very crazy, and it's one of the godlike things that happened to Kotal Kahn during this update. But now let's talk about a hypothetical. So let's say you corner Kotal Kahn. Kotal Kahn is one of the few characters who actually gets stronger in the corner, kind of like Spawn, but for a different reason. So Kotal Kahn can do this. And now, not only is he regenerating health, but as long as he stays inside of this sun, he gets a damage buff as well. So let's say you're fighting Devora and she makes a mistake. She misreads her punish. Now she's unsafe. Boom. Boom, all of that was guaranteed. And my buddy Aziz on Twitter told me he had 2 damage totems and the sunlight. He landed the down 4 and got all of this damage. Look at that. That is almost 40% once again for just a down 4. You landed down 4 and all of that damage afterwards is guaranteed. There's no way to escape it. So already that's pretty crazy, but one more thing worth noting is that the down 4 being so good on hit now and having such a good cancel window also means you can summon a totem and it's impossible for the opponent to punish you on hit. So once again, if the opponent does anything -11 or more, you can punish with a down 4 and then summon a totem guaranteed every single time. That's a pretty nice buff. And I swear we're almost done talking about down 4. The last thing I want to cover is that because you are plus 20 on hit and his back 2/2 starts up in 17 frames, if the opponent presses any buttons, they're going to get hit by the back 2. And that's a big deal because back 2 got a bit of a buff. Before, if you landed the back 2 at max range, sometimes the follow-up would not reach. Now that is no longer going to happen because the second hit starts up faster and is also active for longer. Or in other words, every time you land this down 4 up close, you can be confident that if the first hit of that string lands, the second hit is always going to land as well. And that's nice because this is a meterless combo starter, so really nice stuff. But now it's finally time to talk about a nerf that Kotal Kahn got. So now during that third hit, he is treated as grounded right away. He's no longer airborne, and what that means is the opponent gets much better punishes on you because you're left standing, so much longer combos and of course much more damage as a result. So even though the final hit is still safe on block, the opponent can now interrupt you and get a lot more damage than before. And this next change might not sound as crazy if you're a more casual player, but if you played a competitive level, then this change might make your eyeballs pop out of your head a bit. So Kotal Kahn got some really nice changes to his 4-2-4. So for starters, it is now -5 on block. It used to be -7, so it's a bit safer now than before. That's a very nice change. And then on top of that, I'm gonna tell Devora to go for a flawless block, and check this out. The second hit does not have a flawless block gap. And on top of that, the amplified disc toss now has better range on the first hit of the amplified version. So what that means is, this entire string that you just saw did not have a single flawless block gap. Or in other words, every single time you do this string, the opponent has to think, is he going to stop his string early? Because if so, I can take my turn back, he's -5, but if they guess wrong and you amplify, they will get caught. And that's a big deal because on hit, that amplified disc guarantees you summon a totem. Against some characters, you can summon 2 if they don't have a teleport or a fast projectile. That's 2 totems. So put simply, it's a win-win situation for Kotal Kahn as long as he has meter. On block, he is completely safe and there are no gaps in his string, but then if he does land the hit, he gets at least 1 totem, if not 2, depending on who he's fighting. And remember how earlier I mentioned the first hit of the amplified disc has increased range? That means on hit, it no longer misses. It used to, so a very good change. Now on block, you can do it, you're completely safe, or on hit, you can do it, or in fact, you can just dial it in and know no matter what, you're gonna get some advantage. You're either completely safe if they block it, or if it lands, you get a free totem summon and some decent damage on the combo itself. And that's pretty scary because keep in mind how far this 4-2 goes. It pretty much says F you to any neutral in the game, and now on top of that, it's completely safe in every situation. And because I had Devora doing a flawless block, you couldn't actually see how much damage this string does on block, so just check this out. All of this damage, once again, is completely guaranteed unless they flawless block that very first hit. So if you're ever really low on health and Kotal Kahn is anywhere near you, he can just do this and know that you're going to die from chip damage. Because once again, unless you flawless block that very first hit, you have no options. And in a nutshell, that's about it for the big changes that Kotal Kahn got, but I'm also going to leave a link down below to the actual patch notes. So that way, if you want to see in full detail what happened to Kotal Kahn, you can go ahead and give that a read. Now, one thing the patch notes don't tell you is NetherRealm did find a way to ban that glitch we talked about in a past video, so now it's impossible to do the blood damage totem with the damage increase totem. As you can see on screen, this combination is banned from competitive play, so you can still use either one of them in any of your builds, but if you dare combine the two, that's impossible, it's completely banned. Which of course was the easiest solution. I do kinda wish NetherRealm instead found a way to nerf how they work together because it was a pretty fun mechanic, but instead they went, nah, let's just remove that option entirely. And then to end this video, I wanted to talk about a few tricks that I didn't know about until I researched Kotal Kahn a bit more. So for starters, this string right here leads to a guaranteed unblockable trap. If they roll, they get hit. There's nothing they can do. And that's because rolls lose to any unblockable in the game, and that includes this move. And Kotal Kahn's 4-3-4 has a similar setup. As you can see, you're plus 42 on hit, but you're a bit too far away for the unblockable to land by default, unless of course the opponent's closer to the corner. So if you're mid-screen, you have to do a bit of a micro dash and then go into it, and once again, it's inescapable. So as you can see, I'm playing Devora right now, and I'm holding up on the controller, and it does not matter. I can't jump. Now I'm gonna try and roll. Nope, doesn't work. That was a back roll too, and of course you can't forward roll. That's not gonna work. How about a wake up 3? Let's try a wake up 3. Yep, that does work, but it cost me 1 offensive bar and 1 defensive bar just to escape that damage. And on top of that, I didn't even hit the opponent, so it's the only way I can escape, and I lose access to a breakaway, a double meter burn combo, all that stuff. And Kotal Kahn used to have even more gimmicks than that, but sadly, a lot of them did go away. But do me a favor and post any shenanigans you know of with Kotal Kahn in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help the channel out a ton. And then finish that combo by suplexing that subscribe button. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.